welcome to another Grand Prix Entrepreneur show. Today we've got Jan Stanley Brown that I've felt like I've known for some time, but actually it's only probably a couple of years. Jan is CEO and co-founder of a very exciting, I don't even think it's a startup anymore because we're just discussing how many people he has. So I think it's more of a scale up now. We'll put it in that scale up category, yes. Become a real business, right? Jan, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and Jan is sat in a car dealership at the moment because even though he's ultra busy and moving to Saudi Arabia, etc., he still has to get his car serviced. So
yes, I do. So I'm sitting in Belgium at the moment. I'm here for a couple of weeks to get my visa, and then I'm back off to the desert to a nice 55 degrees, where we've moved, the big part of the operations. And we're scaling, like you said, we're going global.
Yeah.
So
excellent. So do you want to give a little 60-second pitch about Dentaverse?
Yes. Okay. So basically, when COVID hit, after a successful career in management consulting for banks and in IT, it's always been a passion of me. Built my first computer when I was 8, studied finance and accounting, and then married both together. But my heart lies with tech and IT. When COVID hit and I was stuck in these kind of 2D meetings that we have now, together with another nutter that you know, Kevin Doyle, we said there must be a better way to bring these new Web3 technologies to the better of humankind, better experiences, lower transaction costs, and all this. Right, so looked at how we could set up something called blockchain integration technologies, which goal was to bring Web3, which is blockchain, AI, and metaverse, to different verticals. And bizarrely, a couple of months in, I met Martin Ravitz, my co-founder and chief industry officer. I'm actually chief innovation officer at Dentaverse, and it seemed like a very good fit to explore metaverse in a very niche industry. So that's how I ended up into the dental industry without having any background in dentistry.
So, I mean, that kind of does my first question, which was, why Dentaverse, and intrigued by the thinking, which you've kind of led to. But I mean, and it's quite a move. I mean, I still describe Dentaverse to people going, it's dental in the metaverse. It's probably the two most likely things you would think of. So, I mean, kind of explain a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cool thing of Dentaverse is that we have 3 different angles. So one is metaverse, which the whole point of metaverse is to remove the boundaries of space and time. And now, thanks to AI, language as well. So you can have a very good idea of the possibilities that would bring from a business point of view. Second of all, there's a big issue when it comes to data in today's world. You have a lot of data breaches. So we want to bring this kind of blockchain side to it. And then you've got AI. AI today is helping people do more with less. I know that you yourself have taken a big feel for it.
I watch you send me lots of videos on WhatsApp, so yes.
and one of the most powerful tools that we've seen in Dentaverse today that has been used is, on the one side, academia, where we can train our own large language model, open source large language models that are widely available now on academia texts for university students to help prepare for exams, or junior dentists who might, rather than go look in a book the same way you look in a library, you can quickly search it up and get a human-like response. And then the other one is the AI annotation, which helps patients understand better what's going on in their mouth. Yes. Like me being a person who's had a few treatments, I never understood. I just trust the dentist blindly. And these new generations, they challenge that. And now they can actually get an X-ray completely annotated within 30 seconds. And just, it's game-changing. So
brilliant. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you're passionate about the metaverse. If you had the power to create anything in the metaverse, what would your dream creation be?
So I had a good think about this, and I'll be very honest. So another passion of me is DJ. I love music, love electronic music, but sometimes I'm just too busy. And even although, going into those big festivals with those crowds and having the energy of the people and the music, I just don't have the time, a whole day to go. I would love from my office room that I could just jump into a music festival, be with the people, experience it, still soak up the energy, and then just, okay, that's it. I've seen the DJ I wanted to see, and go back to work.
Yeah.
So if anything I could create, it would be like a Glastonbury or a tea in the park, or
well,
whatever, something.
maybe you need to lead Glastonbury into the metaverse. Maybe that's the next one, Jan.
That's so we've started bringing crypto payments to a big festival. We were the first one in the world to do it last year. This year we actually are looking at how we could bring some sort of virtual mixed reality experience, but I don't think this is going to happen until people have access to the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
That's going to be, because that can straight away also map 3D.
Yeah.
Game changer. But that if I could build anything and had whatever time, money, it would be music festival experience, because I think it does good for the soul for everyone.
Awesome. So look, I'm really scared of the dentist. So do you think dentists will ever be able to use the metaverse to kind of conquer those dental fears? And
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We have actually already seen dentists in our community that use AR and VR to reduce dental anxiety from patients. Now, this can be done before the treatment to really understand what's going to happen. Okay. But for children, what happens is that they put on VR goggles with very soothing animations, music, and it kind of hypnotizes them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned there's a lot of techniques. So even before VR, what they used to do with children, the dentist just used to shout at the kid, and he would just go like, and then whoosh, they would put in the new. So it's kind of a new. It's always the same, but in a new format, and understanding what's happening and how long the treatment will take, what's going to happen, can reduce anxiety. So I think you can never take away pain when someone puts an injection. But why do you go to the dentist? Hopefully it's just for checkup, but usually you already start to feel pain. You've got a carie coming, and there's nothing worse than pain. So
I might have to have a side.
Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth.
Yeah. Don't eat too many sweets. And my daughter, my 6-year-old, went to the dentist this morning, and she was petrified. So I might have a side conversation with you, maybe. So, what's the if Dentiverse was to have a mascot, what would it be and why?
On the side note, very quick. If Dentiverse was, can you hear me okay? Just said my connection wasn't stable. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So if Dentiverse could have a mascot, it would be an avatar that could change to whatever the person wants. So I know it's a bit of a double-edged answer, but thanks to technology today, you could just write, okay, I want to talk to a nice fluffy bear. Poof, there it would be. But it would still have the same brain.
Yeah.
Which could answer anything about dentistry, any questions you would have about the treatment.
My daughter, it would be Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig.
Exactly. Why not give people what they want, right? We can now. Thanks to generative AI, you combine all these technologies, and actually we've just broken ground that we have an AI avatar that you can ask any question, it will answer you in speech. So now it's just being able to adapt that physical form that it looks like the avatar to anything the person would want. And
Brilliant.
It's amazing.
What's the weirdest tooth myth or misconception you've ever heard?
With regards to dentistry?
Yeah.
The two biggest myths and misconceptions I've heard. Good one, good one. I think the biggest myth that I've heard is that people, when they go for treatments, all right, people think that their teeth are kind of fixable until the end. And so the reality is that a dentist, when he works on your tooth, the more work he does, the more likely it will be extracted at some point.
Yeah.
Right? And people don't realize how important, if you brush your teeth twice a day and you take the time to floss it properly by putting your floss in, going on the edge, check, this will save you the price of a car over a lifetime.
Wow.
So this is something which people completely miss. Okay. And then when it comes to misconception, I think, so this is again, so I'm going to answer this in two parts. So it's all to do with a smile. So I think people underestimate the value of a nice smile, right? So if you look at any type of person who's not, and then they smile and have a it's the most beautiful accessory someone can wear, right? It doesn't cost anything really. You just need to brush. Sometimes there's some cosmetic changes to be made, but today there's something like clear aligners like Invisalign, and that's where the misconception, I'm going to come to this misconception, is when you put in braces, people think that when you've done your braces and you've done your 2-3 years, that it's over. No, the reality is that the gum and your jaw and your gum line is a kind of a soft tissue bone. Taking their place is like cement.
Yeah.
And it then you've moved it into a perfect smile with your orthodontist. If you do not wear your retainers at night or put something to hold it in place for at least 2-3 years for the cement to sit in, your teeth move back.
Yeah.
And all the hard work is gone.
It's done. It's over. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are two things that I think people don't realize and often go into these treatments thinking it will be done in 2 years. It's a longer process, but it's worth it. And the sooner you do it, the better as a child.
I feel like naming this video "Dental Advice from Jan" because it's actually really good. So,
well, I've been paying attention.
So if you were going to be stranded on a desert island and could bring one book, one movie, and one piece of music, what would they be?
If I could bring one book or one, what was it? One book,
one movie, one piece of music.
One book. So okay, so I'm not a big reader, I'm going to admit, of books. Okay, I'm not a big reader of books, but there's a book called The 4 Agreements. I love that.
Okay.
It's all about how to be a better person. And it's something that's helped me a lot. So I think that would be a book I would bring, knowing the book, right? Music, I think for me, music, it's all about emotion. You know, I'm not a big fan of lyrical music, and I'm more into, music that just generates feelings and tranquility. So yeah, for me, it would have to be more of a playlist. And there's one of my favorite albums out there. It's called Anjuna Deep Volume 8. And it's by it's a UK label, UK kind of deep house label. So I would bring that. And then the third was?
Movie.
movie. All right. The movie that has inspired me the most, that I've watched. I guess I'm stranded on an island, so I don't need inspiration. I need entertainment, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm
You
not
might be
gonna
there
lie.
for that
I love The
one.
Wolf of Wall Street. I love The Wolf of
Oh
Wall
yeah,
Street.
yeah, brilliant movie. Yeah, yeah.
I know the values are wrong and all this, but I just love the entertainment side of it.
It
It's
is a good movie. I will give you that one. Yes, I kind of feel like part of my life was that movie at some point, but not anymore.
but um, but then I love The Big Short as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, because I come from finance, but I'm sure there's a bunch of other like I love Interstellar. I'm a big believer of a
Yes.
multi-planetary species and Elon Musk, what he's doing, everything going on in Saudi Arabia, the line kind of setting a use case of how people could live in a long building,
Yeah.
ready for Mars. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love Interstellar for me. The soundtrack is
amazing. Yeah,
amazing. And it's one of those movies, because it's a daddy-daughter thing, that
yeah.
actually
Also,
gets me going. And at the end, I'm like,
the
wow.
end is wow, wow.
Did not see
The
that
end
coming.
is coming. No one ever saw that coming. No, with the little dust falling and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
man. Yeah,
I
no,
never saw that
amazing.
one coming. And I love the fact, sorry, we're talking about movie review now, but I love the fact that he thinks they named the space station after him, and it was actually his
Yeah,
daughter.
yeah, yeah. No. So that was a total mind twist, and I mean, kudos to the producer because
Amazing, amazing.
amazing movie.
So a couple of
Yeah,
last
yeah.
questions. So if you could have a celebrity voice to be the voice of Dentaverse in the metaverse, who would it be and why?
Yeah. Okay. So I recently, this is going to sound very, very cheesy. I was in Turkey, going through an acquisition, and I didn't know what to watch at night, and I ended up looking on Apple TV, and there was this documentary about Selena Gomez.
Right.
Okay. I always completely judged the poor girl for the whole Justin Bieber thing, but watching this documentary was kind of like, all right, people just saw half the story on this. The girl, she's got like quite difficult autoimmune disease,
Yeah.
and actually, I really like her voice when it's not master tuned and all
Yeah.
this. It's a very clear, distinguished American English accent. So yeah, if I could have her
Brilliant.
voice, yeah,
Was
I would
not
go for Selena
expecting.
Gomez.
I was not expecting that answer, yeah, I have to say.
Yeah.
But that's brilliant. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think you have to call her agent, and we need to get her on, right?
Let's see if I can afford her or not,
And the last
or be
one, really,
cheeky or
yeah. So, oh, I've lost you again.
I
You'll be back in a second.
do, you know.
You're,
I'm back.
you're back. So, last one. What's next for Dentaverse?
Okay, what's next for Dentaverse? You can hear me clearly?
Yeah, all good.
Yep. Okay, so next for Dentaverse is we are very, very focused at launching our Dentaverse AI suite of products. And we are currently going through our investment round to expand. So we're now in Middle East, Europe. We want to get to America. We want to get to Asia, and obviously requires capital and to expand the team. But more importantly for us, we are now connecting all these services into 3D, right? We are looking to bring a whole industry into metaverse. It seems like no one else has succeeded, nor Facebook, Meta, nor Microsoft. They're all doing bits and bobs, but we've got 10 suppliers that have their own kind of virtual showroom. We've brought two of the largest conferences. We are now bringing virtual clinics, and we are actually giving them the tools to make money from Metaverse. So our next step now is to really bring this kind of deep integration, legacy integration with their existing practice management software, which this is going to be the tricky part, is to make the systems work together, right? As with anything, as you know, that's where the real value lies, that there's no change in the way that people operate today in the daily practice when a booking is made and all this. We're now connecting those kind of backend systems all together. So that's really the next phase. Once we get the investment in, that's our focus 100%. So we've got products that are kind of all ready and being used. Now we want to make sure that a dentist, a supplier, can use his old systems, or at least the database of his old systems, in a 3D front end, which makes it way more interactive and kind of removes the need of space and time when it comes to travel.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, sorry, this wasn't a question I was going to ask, but does the dentistry world find it astonishing where their world has got to? Because I guess it's been quite stuck in a kind of the same sort of thing for a long time.
Exactly. So I think me and Al-Walid, Dr. Al-Walid, my business partner in Saudi, there's been no real innovation in the operational workflow other than the equipment getting better to do the better scans. There's been no real change in patient calling, making a booking. It takes 15 minutes on average to make a booking for a patient, which is crazy if you ask me. That's nuts, right?
Yeah.
And there's been no real innovation in that, and they're all craving it because the real innovators out there, you come in the morning, take an intraoral scan. In the evening, your crown has been 3D printed and is ready to be implanted.
Wow.
It used to take weeks.
Yeah.
So they've got to that stage already, but from an operational front office kind of, forget the patient relationship, really, the management of the office, that's where, they're really craving innovation. And they're innovators in their own right. But I would say the ones that have joined Dentaverse as a dentist, they are completely waiting they can't wait, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like, there's a couple of things after this. It feels like there's a longer conversation for you and I to have about AI, because I think we could talk for hours.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, it truly is, I've said to everyone, there will be the day when it becomes into the mainstream and people start realizing what it's capable of, right? And it's been, I still go to people that when I was doing AI at the age of 20, 21, people thought it was Terminator. They didn't, just didn't have any thoughts.
I remember when I was at uni and my mom, said, okay, how's your essay going? And have you done your research? Are you at the library? I'm like, no, I'm at home doing my research. What do you mean? Like, well, we've got databases that kind of have all these academic journals. Because when my mom did her essays, she had to go to the library.
Yeah.
AI that can actually even do opinion, and if you don't use it, you're losing out today.
Yeah.
Or at least if you don't start to understand it.
Yeah. I think that's the important bit, isn't it? It's the starting to understand for people.
And there's this nice saying, AI won't replace you, but someone using AI will replace you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, we could get in a whole debate about that. So look,
but let's not.
I really appreciate your time, especially because you're on the fly. We had a few little glitches, but the content is great. So who cares, right? We're entrepreneurs. We do stuff on the fly. It's rough and ready, right? You don't want to do too perfected. So Jan, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure as always. And I wanted to say thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, David. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, dude.